Since early May 2026, Spirit Airlines is gone. Not bankrupt, not restructuring, gone. No more yellow planes in the sky. On May 2nd, 2026, Spirit posted an announcement that read, "It is with great disappointment that Spirit Airlines has started an orderly wind-down of operations effective immediately. All flights have been canceled. Customer service is no longer available. 17,000 jobs, tens of thousands of stranded travelers, 33 years of flying, gone overnight." And here's what nobody is telling you. Spirit didn't die because it was cheap. It died because it never figured out how airlines actually make money. And once I show you what that means, you'll understand something about the entire American economy that most people never connect. To understand why Spirit died, you first need to understand what it actually built. Because Spirit didn't just sell cheap seats, it changed the entire American airline industry. Back in 2007, Spirit became the first US airline to charge a fee for checking a bag. That sounds normal now. At the time, it was considered outrageous, but it worked. And within 5 years, every major airline had copied it. By 2012, Delta launched Basic Economy, a stripped-down cheap fare, specifically to compete with Spirit. United and American followed in 2017. Spirit had essentially created a pricing model that the entire industry then used against them. That's the first tragedy of Spirit. They were so innovative that they made themselves replaceable. And here's how their model actually worked under the hood. Budget airlines buy new planes in massive bulk orders. Newer planes burn dramatically less fuel, and fuel is your single biggest cost. They fly one type of aircraft only. Spirit only flew Airbus A320s. One plane type means pilots, mechanics, and crew only need training on one aircraft. Hundreds of millions saved. They skip expensive airports. They turn planes around in 30 to 45 minutes. They charge for everything: bags, seats, food, drinks. Spirit did all of this right. The operation was lean and precise. So, if Spirit was doing everything right, why is it dead? Here's the part nobody's talking about. While Spirit was busy perfecting the art of the cheap seat, Delta, United, and American were quietly building something completely different, something so valuable, it eventually became worth more than the airlines themselves: frequent flyer programs. Think about this. In 2020, when airlines needed emergency loans during the pandemic, United needed to put up collateral. You'd expect them to offer their planes, their routes, their gates. Instead, they offered their loyalty program, Mileage Plus, and the bank valued it at nearly $22 billion, with a B. United's entire stock market value at the time, $10 billion. Let that sink in. The loyalty program was worth more than twice the airline, Delta's at $26 billion, and Americans at up to $31 billion, both worth more than the airlines themselves. How is that possible? Because airlines figured out they could sell imaginary points to credit card companies for real money. Chase pays United, Amex pays Delta, Citi pays American. Every time you swipe your co-branded airline credit card, the bank buys points from the airline at roughly a cent each. The airline books that as pure profit before a single seat is filled or a single gallon of fuel is burned. In 2018, American Airlines lost half a cent for every mile it flew, every seat. It still made $1.9 billion in profit, entirely because of loyalty program revenue. The airline business is a loss leader. The loyalty program is the actual business. And Spirit had a loyalty program, but it had almost no meaningful credit card partnership. No Chase, no Amex, no Citi, no multi-billion-dollar points machine propping up the losses from cheap seats. They were still playing the airline game. Everyone else had moved on to playing the banking game, and Spirit never got the memo. Now here's where it gets almost painful to watch. Because Spirit didn't go down without a fight. There were 3 separate moments where Spirit could have been saved. Every single one fell apart. First, the Frontier merger. In 2022, Frontier offered to buy Spirit for $2.8 billion. 2 budget airlines merging into one would have created real scale, real negotiating power, a real chance at survival. But Spirit's shareholders said no, because JetBlue came in with a better offer, $3.6 billion. So Spirit walked away from Frontier, and then the Biden administration's Department of Justice blocked the JetBlue deal on antitrust grounds. A federal judge ruled it would reduce competition, and Spirit's stock lost almost half its value the day that decision came down. That is where things really started falling apart. Second, the pandemic. Lockdowns destroyed travel demand across the entire industry, but Spirit never recovered. Total losses since 2020 crossed $6 billion. If you had put $100 into Spirit stock at the end of 2019, it would have been worth less than $1 5 years later. Third, the engine crisis. Dozens of Spirit planes had to be grounded for extended periods due to engine issues requiring inspections and repairs. Revenue down, efficiency down, costs up. By late 2024, Spirit filed for bankruptcy for the first time. Then again, in August 2025, 3 rescue attempts. All 3 failed. Spirit Airlines just lost its spirit. And then came the final blow. 3 days after Spirit reached a deal with creditors to finally emerge from its second bankruptcy, the war with Iran started. The Strait of Hormuz, which carries roughly 20% of the world's oil supply, effectively closed. Jet fuel prices went through the roof. Spirit said the Iran war added $100 million in incremental fuel costs in March and April alone. $100 million in 2 months for a company already on life support. For Delta and United, painful but survivable. Their loyalty programs are printing billions regardless of fuel prices. For Spirit, fatal. The Trump administration tried a last-minute bailout, $500 million in exchange for a 90% government stake. Key creditors blocked it. A source close to the situation said, "You can't breathe life into a corpse." Spirit's final flight landed overnight at Dallas-Fort Worth. Air traffic controllers said goodbye to the pilots, and that is when God took away its spirit. Now here's what this means for your wallet, because Spirit dying is not just a business story, it is an immediate personal finance event for millions of Americans. 1. Your flights just got more expensive. Average fares jumped 23%, roughly every time Spirit exited a route in the past. Now Spirit is exiting every route simultaneously. 1.8 million seats gone from the market in May alone. Less supply, same demand. Prices go one direction. 2. Your credit card points are more valuable than you think. The airlines that survived this survived partly because of their credit card partnerships. If you're not using a co-branded airline card strategically, you're leaving real money on the table. Points from the right card can offset exactly the fare increases Spirit's death just caused. 3. Watch Frontier. Frontier is now the last major budget carrier standing in the US. If they struggle and fuel prices stay elevated because of the Iran situation, the budget airline model in America could be functionally dead within a year. That means a permanent shift in what flying costs for regular Americans. Watch that space closely. Now here's what I want you to take away. Spirit Airlines didn't just get unlucky, it got exposed, and then it got buried by a war on the other side of the world. But here's the thing, those yellow planes changed what it means to fly in America forever. Basic economy exists because of Spirit. Bag fees exist because of Spirit. The entire way you book a cheap flight today traces back to what they built. They invented the game. They just never built the thing that lets you survive it long term. And honestly, I think those yellow planes are going to become one of those things that make us nostalgic for this era. A symbol of a time when you could fly somewhere for $49 and just deal with it. That time is gone now. That's the Spirit. The lesson isn't budget airlines are bad. The lesson is, in every industry, there's the visible business, and then there's the actual business. Airlines sell flights, but the ones that survive sell financial products. Knowing the difference between what a company appears to do and what it actually does, that's the edge most people never develop. Subscribe to Aceonomics. I'll see you in the next one.